All right, let's see if we get screen here. I'll mute my computer and let's see what we got going on here. All right. Here I come up. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Robert says 5x5. Charlie 5x5. Good deal. Okay. Happy New Year, guys. If you can call it that already. Well, we're what? 15 hours, no, 21 hours into this, and it's already been a crazy year. So, gonna give a caveat to this, guys. I have this with me right here for a very simple reason. The storms that you guys have seen, maybe going all over the news, are just rolling in here. We've been under a tornado watch. I think they put it out at 1 o'clock this afternoon till 8 o'clock tonight. At 8 o'clock, they reissued it till 3 o'clock in the morning. So Mrs. P and I have already gone through 2.5 hour power outage today. And I have no idea what happened. It's been windy, so my guess is a tree fell over power line somewhere or something like that, but they got that fixed. But if anything, it was good because, we're preppers, so it wasn't like a big deal. It's like, all right, get this out, get that out, get everything. It's like, okay, so we've already pre-positioned solar generators to freezers to refrigerators, and I've got one set up right now on the Wi-Fi connection. So if power goes out, I can run over there and flip it in. Phone should kick right over to 4G, and so that should keep going, but I may lose you guys here. So if all of a sudden the lights go out, uh, I'll still be here. And I also have a flashlight here just in case it does go absolutely nuts outside. I'll take you outside and show you how crazy it is. But these storms are pretty close. If you guys have seen what's going on, say a prayer tonight. There's already been tornadoes in southern Tennessee, due south of Nashville, right on the Alabama border. Alabama's got hit with some. Mississippi's got hit with some. It's coming here. If you guys know anything about this storm, this is a monster storm. To give you an idea how big it is, it goes from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Nova Scotia. All right, this covers 2/3 of the continental U.S. And then, of course, you have that other storm that's up in the Pacific Northwest dumping snow on those people like Who Shot John. Chicken Prepper, thank you for the super chat. So, yeah, this is how screwy this is, guys, okay? And you can call it HARP if you want. I'm going to say it's grand solar minimum because I'm sorry, as much as they can manipulate the weather, they can't manipulate the weather for 4,000 miles, okay? Long, let alone about 2,000 miles wide. That'd be pretty good. But, give you this. One of y'all emailed or put in the comments today, it was 50 below today in North Dakota. It was 80 something in Georgia. I told you guys this morning it was supposed to be 65 today. It got up to 74, okay? It's now about 50, and we're supposed to be down in the teens tomorrow night. Okay, so, nothing like going from 75 to 15 in 36 hours. And you wonder why we got weather. There is snow right now in Lubbock, Texas. And yet it's warm up north in, say, Boston. 50 some odd degrees in Boston in January is warm. Okay. And I think like Jacob and Robert can tell you this ain't normal. So yes, it's very crazy, but so yeah, like I said, if the lights go out all of a sudden or whatever, don't worry. It's happened to us before. Some of you guys probably remember the last live stream we were on. It was like, oh crap, the lights went out. And it was like, all right, we do this, we do this, we do this, and poof, we're still here. So we'll keep that going. So I hope everybody had a good, safe New Year's. Didn't hear any stories about anybody being in jail or dying or anything other than Betty White. And that kind of sucked. Talk about it, 2021 had to kick us in the balls one more time and, took Betty White from us yesterday. And I know y'all say Hollywood, but Betty White was one of the good ones. Okay. So we are into a new year. hope you all got a chance to watch my predictions for this morning. I know like Prepper Now put out his, a couple other channels put out his, and again, we're all trying to figure out what we think is going on. Y'all had some great comments in there of what you think's going on. Some of them were absolutely hilarious. But, you know, that's the thing. That's what I've always wanted. Get you guys thinking about what could happen. Because if you figure out what could happen before it happens, that way you can prep for it. And when it does come up and bite us, you're like, no big deal. I'm ready. I mean, power outage say, all right, that, that's a nothing for experienced preppers. But damn well, today when the power went out, there were a whole bunch of people freaking, going, oh my God, what do I do? I've got no Netflix. I've got no internet. I've got no lights. How am I going to cook? How am I going to do whatever? And that, maybe you woke up a little bit. Doubt it, but but that's what I'm saying. If you think about some of these things that could happen, like I talked about this morning, it gives you a chance to prepare for them, before it happens in reality, because by then it's too late. I was talking to Mrs. Mountaintop Prepper today, and we've had a new neighbor, I guess, if you will, move in between our house and their house. There's a 15-acre property up there that somebody had purchased. And Mrs. Mountaintop Prepper said she went and introduced herself to the people. And, here it is. They've just been there for maybe a week or so. And the power went out. And the lady's like, ooh, maybe I need to get a generator. And so they were talking. And I guess this couple or family has 4 dogs, And so she asked Mrs. Mountaintop Prepper, she goes, what about wild animals around here? Well, we've got, mountain lions, and we've got wolves, and we've got bears. And she goes, maybe I need to buy a gun. And I'm thinking to myself, and she was saying the same thing. It's like, you moved to the country. The hell do you think goes on out here? But, that's going to be the other interesting thing is, people moving because, well, they're from California, the Bay Area, California. How they wound up out here, I have no idea. But, at least by saying maybe we should go buy a gun, maybe that tells me that they're not uber liberal. But, it's going to be very interesting when you get these people that move to different places and they go, I'm so out of my element. It's like, yeah, there isn't a Starbucks within 45 minutes of me. Uber Eats doesn't come here. You can't get a pizza delivered. Nothing comes out like that. How a liberal could live where I live, I have no idea. But hopefully they're one of the conservative Californians that got out. So that's kind of the fun here, and I can hear the rain starting to go again. So, all right, you guys know what we do on the weekends, and I kept it short, 7 minutes. So Q&A for you guys. As usual, if you have questions for me, just like every other channel, please put them all in uppercase. That way I know they're there. Okay, makes life easy. As usual, I've got the best mods in the business between Lorna, Robert, Jacob, North Shore, and Lucky Dame, who I finally made it to one of her live streams yesterday, which was fun to sit here and listen to her pontificate on some of the things she thinks about. There's some really good stuff. So, if you haven't checked out Lucky Dame's channel, go check that out too. Bush Doctor, thank you for the super chat. So, they have their marching orders. They know we don't put up with any BS here if you're new, okay? This is a family-friendly PG-13 channel. If you can be polite to everybody else. If you want to come in here and troll, if you want to come in here and be an ass, don't plan on making a second comment because we don't give 300-second timeouts around here. We just toss you. All right, easy enough, all right? Group of people that's in here works very hard together to help each other, and we like to keep it that way. So if you want to be part of that, you are more than welcome. If you want to be a pain in the ass, there's plenty of other wannabe prepper channels that you can go out there and be a pain in the ass with. Okay, this is for serious people. All right, that being said, the only rule I have here, guys, is nothing's off limits except the stuff that YouTube tells us that has to be. So please, no FJB or Let's Go Brandon comments. Please, nothing talking about the 2020 elections, and please, no talking about, Al Gore's favorite topic of the weather. Okay, those are the three cardinal sins that YouTube gives me the axe for, and we're kept our nose clean for a little bit. So anything else is on the market on the table, depending on what you talk about. The only other one, of course, is COVID, and I think we all know that, and there's no need to beat a dead horse with effectiveness of vaccines and anything like that. So I'm not even going to bother opening that up for discussion. Anything else? Prepping topics, politics, economy, rock bands, TV shows, gardening, God knows what you want to talk about. Fire away. I may have the answer. I may not. God knows I don't know everything. Not anywhere close. But I can pretty much bet somebody in here is going to have the answer. Okay. So if I can't answer it, feel free to have conversations in the chat amongst yourselves with questions, because that's what we all come together here for, is for a community. And, with pushing, what do we have, 57, 58,000, how many people are here? Pushing 60,000 subscribers on the channel. Okay. Somebody out of 60,000 people is going to have the answer to your question. So let's go there. All right. So let me scroll up to the top. Only other thing is, you guys know, if you've ever tried this yourself, okay, the chats move a lot faster than I can do it. So if I don't answer your question within 5 or 10 minutes of you asking it, feel free to ask it again. If I see it a second time, I'll just skip it. Understand, I go as fast as I can, but I'm not going to get to everybody's. I'm not trying to skip anybody on purpose. There's just not enough time to get to everybody. So let's get into it here before we go any more. All right, so as far up as I can go, Awesome Sauce 753 says, I'm in thick fog in New England, unseasonably warm. Yeah, exactly. I've lived up there for a few years, and I don't remember any warm weather like this on New Year's. Amy Peacock says it's snowing in Midland too. Jeez, yeah. Okay, Texas, you guys got your practice in the spring. Let's see if you're ready for it again, because here it comes. Yarn Prepper, we have winter weather advisory, 0-degree wind chill, 1 to 4 inches of snow by morning. That was the interesting one I saw really quick tonight, is all this rain I'm supposed to get. They could, if it sticks around, we could feasibly have snow here tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to get down to the teens. So that'd be interesting, going from 75 degrees to snow. And we get, mind you guys, where I am, the average snowfall is 4 inches a year. Okay, not 4 inches of snowfall, 4 inches a year. David Williams, greetings, sir. Good evening from Central Mexico. Love and respect as always. Please include a prayer for my friend Jim, a very critical time in his marriage. Thank you, my Patriot family. Okay, everybody, I think I can speak for all of us. All of our best to Jim. Hopefully, whatever challenges he is working through, they will come together well for him, in God's grace. Obviously, marriage is sacred in the eyes of God, and if this is something with his marriage, God's watching. Commander, thank you for your very generous super chat. 6 degrees tonight in Provo. Being from Arizona, well, you're used to Arizona nights, okay? I mean, I know the Provo area because, we've talked before, I lived up in Draper for a while. And then I can remember being down at Fort Huachuca in Arizona, and I was down there for AIT in the winter time. It was December, January, February. And I remember nice warm days, and I remember having to pull guard duty out in a parka out there. So, and if all you guys don't know where Fort Huachuca is about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of Tucson, about an hour north of the Mexican border in Arizona. Okay. Yeah, it gets cold in the desert at night. So I understand what you're saying, tired of being cold. That was one of the reasons why we left. It's like, I'm sick of snow. Okay. Jamie Dolan, what season is this again? Wabbit season. That's about it. Yeah, it depends on where you are in the country. Okay. Last day of Hector Prepper says last day of cold in Washington. Okay, hopefully. Now you're going to get all the flooding from it. That'll be it. Helen Addison says Happy New Year from Georgia. Okay, hopefully you are evading. From what I saw, you're avoiding these storms. It looks like they're just going to cut the northwest tip of Georgia, and that's going to be about it. So you get to stay out of all this mess. Deacon Prepper, flies in January. Yeah. I mean, we've got gnats running around here. I'm like, what is going on? I told you guys about having flowers blooming. Figure that one out. You know, my garlic is about 9 or 10 inches high at this point. I planted it over Thanksgiving weekend. You know, when you're supposed to plant it because it needs a chill hours over the winter. No, it's just going to grow. Patty Bob from Germany. Here we go. Greetings, buddy. It's very warm here at the minute. 13 degrees Celsius above when it's 13 degrees, normally 13 Celsius below. Yeah, I'd say that would be a SWIP. So let's see if we convert that to Fahrenheit, 26 and 32. Yeah, it's pushing 55 degrees up there in Germany right now on January 1st. Figure that one out. I'll give you guys an idea. Germany's probably somewhat on the same parallel as about Maine, you know. So that'll give you an idea. If it's 55 degrees in Maine, yeah. Karen says, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Fingirl ECG, exactly. Better is preventative than reactive. That is so, I mean, the reason we are all here is to be proactive or preventative. I mean, there's some things we can't prevent. I mean, you can prepare for an economic collapse or, you know, whatever would be, but you can't, I mean, we don't have the ability to prevent it, but we do have the ability to prep for it. The last thing you want to be is reactive to any of this. You know, again, like I said, the power went out today. That's not the time to go, gee, honey, we need a generator. Okay. Oops. Scrolling. This must be about when I came on. Timothy Laird, no internet means no pinball. Well, that's what backups for backups are. That's why I got them. You know, it's funny when I was putting everything together this afternoon, you know, you always love this. This is the second time this happened to me, and it's just a funny story. Like I said, power went out today, right? And so I pulled out the battery, you know, solar generators, solar batteries, whatever you want to call them. They're all charged. And so I plugged in the freezers on, you know, after about 2 hours. I was like, okay, I don't know how long this is going to last, but at this point I need to start plugging stuff in. So I put one up on the freezers. I brought the other ones in and I put it on the refrigerator, and I put the third one in on the internet connection. I said to Mrs. P, I said, I know this is silly putting it on the internet. I said, but in order for us to keep track of what's going on with the storms, I said, if our phones die, that way we've still got internet, we can check there. We don't have to waste the batteries in our phone. It's the second time this happened. No sooner did I plug everything in, walked over to the kitchen, grab a beer, thought I was going to sit down for a minute, the power went back on. That's the second time that's happened within 30 seconds of me having all the generators hooked up that the power's gone back on. It's like, okay, everything's in place. We're just leaving it where it is because I got a good feeling we're going to lose power tonight. So, all right. Angry Homesteader says, I know what you mean. Our neighbors wanted to turn in dogs barking. Dogs are going to be a good thing in SHTF. I will tell you that. Okay. They're, you know, y'all know this if you've got dogs. The mailman comes, somebody's walking up to your porch, and before the doorbell rings, the dogs are barking. You already know somebody's there. And if it's a bad guy, they know there's dogs in the house. And that usually is good enough for them to turn away. But, you know, dogs barking is a good tip to me to, okay, let's make sure I've got something in my hand before I go to the door. Let's see. Jamie Dolans has got several from California that moved here too. Yeah, I hope this is, I mean, I've got no way of proving this. It's not really like you can go up to your new neighbors and ask. It's like, you know, are you a liberal idiot or are you a conservative patriot? Though knowing me, I would ask that. I'm hoping that the people that are leaving these shitholes are, and, you know, coming into red states are the conservatives that were punished by living in the blue ones. So the one thing, y'all have said it, everybody said it scares me to death that you get a whole bunch of liberals deciding to move to Tennessee, Texas, Arizona, South Carolina, Florida, and decide to bring their liberal values somewhere else. It's like, please, you've ruined half the country. Let's not do it to the rest of it. Carla Palmer, what happens in the country stays in the country. Yeah, that's why we have big pieces of property. It's harder to find things. Let's see. Joshua Skeen, how is Tennessee dealing with the pandemic? Worth moving to from New York? A lot of people have moved here. I mean, we've ignored mandates. We've ignored masks since last summer. Tennessee is pretty much business as usual. Sure. Again, like anywhere else, there's going to be some places that, they ask you to wear it. There's still signs in the door, we ask that you wear your mask, and everybody ignores it. You go into the restaurant or you go into Walmart and the employees all have it on, but, nobody's forcing anybody. Honestly, if it wasn't for us being inundated 24/7 with, the Fauci report, nobody'd think it was even going on anymore here. The problem with what you got with moving here is good luck finding property, okay? Because, and this is probably the same for Texas and Arizona and South Carolina and Florida and anywhere else where people go. Property here is flying off the market like nothing, okay? Put a piece of land up there, it's decent, it's fair priced, poof, it's gone, and houses, same way, go online, any of these retailer, Realtor or Zillow or any of them, and look in an area that you want to be, and all you'll see is pending, contingent, boom, 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 boom. You look, it's like, oh, there's 37 listings. 32 of them are already under contract of some sort, and there's 5 left. That's what you're going to find around here. Fingirl, Mammy K needs to be a mod. I think right now I'm okay with 5, unless the mods, 6, because Indiana Prepper 2 is here. Evening, sir. Haven't seen you in a while. I think I'm okay with what we've got going on right now. If the mods tell me they need more help, that's usually when we go bring somebody else in. So don't want to make everybody a mod, then it just gets too crazy. There's too many people to keep up with. B. Deering 11. Question, is North Shore doing better? Well, he's in here, so I guess he can probably answer for himself. Let's see. Where are we? Bush Doctor Survival. Off topic. Do I have any tips for starting a channel? Okay. First off, I'll give you this. I've talked to this a couple of times. So I'll give it to you real quick. Be yourself. Do not try to be somebody else. Okay. If it's your expertise, talk about it. Do not try to be a bullshit artist. Everybody, if you're gonna do a prepping channel, everybody in the prepping community can smell a bullshit artist from a mile away. If you don't know something, just say you don't know something and don't discuss it. I've said to you guys many times, I'm not an expert on canning. You're not going to see a video from me showing people how to do canning. It's just not going to happen. It's not my forte. Be honest, be truthful, do your homework, and admit when you're wrong. I guess those are the biggest things that I could say. You're not going to get everything right. I don't, okay? But when I make a mistake, I'm going to own up to my mistake. There's a whole bunch of people that won't, okay, in life. And there's a whole bunch of people that in life and on YouTube and everything like that try to fake it till they make it. It's not going to work, okay? If you're an expert in radios, talk about radios because you're the expert in it, okay? If you're going to try to do something that, gee, I've been doing this for about 2 weeks and it sounds like it'd be really cool that I could go talk about it. Yeah. The only other thing I will tell you is you're going to have a wide breadth in anything that you talk about. Everybody goes, oh, I could make prepping videos. I stock food and I've bought guns or whatever it is. Okay, that's great. That gets you through your first week. What are you going to do your second week for videos? Okay, you need to have a very wide breadth of topics that you can discuss, and you need to have experience and knowledge in them all. Okay, so that's it. It's so many people think that being a creator is easy. It's not. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. So, because I wouldn't get to meet all of you guys otherwise. Let's see. Lorna, I started the new year with my SHTF shirt, right? Yes, yeah, I got your picture. That was awesome. Okay, Jacqueline Taylor saying, censor yourselves, gentlemen. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about there. Jay Stratton, how to safely hire repairmen if preps are all over. Well, and again, I don't know your situation. I mean, some people, if you're living in an apartment or something like that, you only have so much room. Your preps should be in somewhat of a secure place and somewhat of a hidden place or places. Now, if you've got a guy coming out to fix your kitchen sink and you've got preps under your kitchen sink, take your preps out of there, okay? If somebody comes in a house and sees that you've got, a few dozen cans of ravioli or whatever else, they're not going to think twice about it. They see you've got boxes upon boxes upon boxes of stuff, then they are. So, yeah, at that point, you're going to need to go put it somewhere else. And I know it sucks, but, if you're having somebody come in the house and you've got a whole bunch of stuff stuck in the dining room, maybe you need to go take it into the bedroom while they're there. So, yeah, again, you don't want to be advertising because there's many a story out there, and not just with preps, but many a story of repairmen then winding up coming back and robbing a house because they saw stuff that was, worth stealing in a house. So, that's just always good OPSEC, if you will, operational security. You're not going to have the TV repairman, come out to the house and leave diamond rings sitting on the table right behind him for, him to notice. Deborah Abbott, are you on the path of the tornado coming to Knoxville? Yes. And there was a flicker of lights. There's another one. Told you. Here we come. Susan Burge, how do you get your grown children to prep? The best way to do it, I guess, with grown children is they're going to have to be in a situation where they realize it's beneficial. The prices in the grocery store should have been a wake-up call to them, okay? Because then you can say, and I'll give you a perfect one, okay? Mountaintop Prepper, again, they were up at the grocery store, Food City in Maynardville today, and he sent me a picture of a 1.6 pound ribeye. $30.87, I think it was. It was $18.99 a pound. Mrs. P wanted to make beef stew tonight for dinner. So she asked me to go grab something out of the freezer. Okay. And we had a chunk of a London broil that was still in the freezer. We bought in the grocery store October of 2020. Meat was still totally good. It was all frozen and everything like that. No problem. Look at the package. $2.99 a pound for a London broil. $2.99 a pound. That's something right there that you start explaining to the kids, going, gee, don't you wish you had this from back when it was $2.99 a pound instead of paying, I mean, what are you paying for a roast now? $9.99 a pound? $11.99 a pound? Gee, I don't know. Could you save a little bit of money? Think about all the other things that you could do with that. Give them silly stuff. Don't you always think it's a good idea to buy Christmas wrapping paper this time of year because all the stores are trying to get rid of it? Here's a roll of wrapping paper. We'll sell it to you for $0.25 as opposed to $2.99 a roll, okay? Or we all talked about seeds and what was it, Dollar General, and you guys were telling me about, a penny a pack or something because they were trying to get rid of it as opposed to $1 a pack or $2 a pack or whatever it would be. There's the first way. Just show them the economic benefits of it. And once they start realizing the economic benefits of it, Then they start realizing some of the other ones. It's like, oh crap, honey, I'm out of Comet kitchen cleanser. I can't clean the toilets. Hang on 1 second. Here's another one. Oh shit, I got to clean the toilets now. That's a good way to get husbands involved for the wives. Okay. When they say we don't have something, so I can't do what you want me to do. If you've got it, all of a sudden they can do it. But yeah, those are once they get started, they'll see how much easier life is. You never go, oh crap, I'm out of deodorant. Oh crap, I'm out of toothpaste. Honey, we're out of macaroni. Because you never are. Because if you ever need it, you just go into the pantry and go, okay, I got another one. I mean, we jokingly call our pantry the store. Honey, I'm going to the store. I'll be right back. Oh, here you go. That's about it. But that's how you start, at least in my opinion. You start getting into the other things like, Berkeys and generators and everything like that. Okay, that's going to take some time to get them into doing. Start with the food and the daily things that they use and the economic benefits of stockpiling it. Oh God, Purring Lady, what are my thoughts on AI technology? How far will they take it? Personally, I think it's great that we can do it up to a point, okay? And it kind of goes back to the old line, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. AI technology, hey, it's really cool and everything like that. The problem is when it puts everybody out of a job, nobody has any money to do anything. That's wonderful. You've got robots making all the widgets in the factory. But if the people don't have any money to buy the widgets, what's the point? So, you get into that kind of catch-22. It's great, but it's counterproductive. So, I personally, I think it's an interesting concept, but I don't think people are ready to, the general public, are ready to deal with it. The tech gurus, they're like, oh yeah, this is the coolest thing in the world, until it puts them out of a job, and then they're going, well, wait a minute, that wasn't what I designed this for. Well, sorry, that's what we're using it for. Unique Rabbit, so irritating they have so many things we can't speak freely about. Yeah, I agree. Okay, but it is what it is. And fortunately, it's not so many things. And I think a lot of us, you guys and all the content creators have, we've all got to the point where, again, talking about the efficacy of the vaccines, it's beating a dead horse anymore. FJB, all right, we all know that, what we all pretty much are in agreement on that one. Climate change, we're all pretty much in agreement. So we can talk about, but it's an echo chamber at that point. There's other things that we can talk about that we all do that, at least up until this point, we're not forbidden from talking about. Little Lone Prepper, I've decided to sit out 2022. I'm gonna dust off 1979 and reuse it. Please, not 1979. 1979 was the year that my dad got transferred to Michigan, and those were the worst 5 years of my life. Yeah, and this is from a guy who's been divorced. Let's see. Oops, there we go. Did we shot to the bottom? Okay, let's see where we are. Mark Webb, have you heard of this term, halfbacker? No, I have not. Other than halfback in football, no. Ray Asnavorian, any thoughts on large-scale hack attacks on the grid in the U.S. this year? Yeah, I talked about it this morning in my 10 things I see for 2022. I think the hacking gets worse this year. I think the first one they're going to go after is the banks, and then it's going to be something in the way of utilities, either the water supply or the grid. I think that last year, the ones on Colonial or Kaseya or on ADP or any of the other ones, I think those were practice, and they're like, hey, we're making money off of this. Let's go for some bigger fish. Uh, Healthy disrespect for authority. Did I get to play Cards Against Humanity last night? Yes. God. That game was interesting to say the least. Sometimes you get stuck with a card in your hand. You go, none of these make sense. You know, you use it as a pitch card. Some of the answers that we had in for some of the questions were absolutely hilarious. Some of them were really twisted. Let's put it that way. It was an interesting game. It's not one I would want to play with younger people. Let's put it this way. You know, different generations. You know, because especially I certainly wouldn't want to play it with my daughter or something like that. That could be real embarrassing. So, but playing with friends was kind of fun. Still embarrassing, but at least not as. Rob S. How long did it take me to get my first 1,000 subscribers when I started the channel? I think about a month, somewhere thereabouts. Misty Wood says our accountant has. I don't know what's next. Huts John, the blue ball canning book is what I would suggest to someone that wants to learn to can. Yeah, I've got one of those. I mean, I've got a couple of them, and then you guys have sent me a couple of them. Plus, like I said, I mean, I watch, you know, Sutton's Days. I'll talk to Lisa, you know, help, I got a question, and she's really good about answering me. Or Keto Homestead with Jess is really good about answering questions if I've got a canning question. So, you know, just like you guys send me questions, I send them to other creators that I've got questions for, you know, talking about their area of expertise. I mean, that's community. That's why we all do this, you know. Camper Steve, have I considered building a greenhouse for seed starting? Yes, it's just not one of those things that is high on the project list, because I can still start my seeds in the house, no problem. I've got the space. I can do it in my grow lights, not marijuana, but my grow lights and everything. You guys have seen the videos on how I built those. So I've got that, but you know, besides the big project for 2022 is putting a pond in. Yeah, building a greenhouse is not high on the list right now. Homestead Preparedness, shelf life coffee, whole beans or ground? Well, shelf life whole beans are going to last you a bit longer, unless, of course, you leave the ground coffee in its original packaging, especially if it's been one of those vacuum sealed packs. It's going to be fine. My personal reason for keeping ground coffee as opposed to whole beans, A, I'm rotating it because I'm using my coffee all the time, but B, that's one less step I'm going to have to take in an SHTF situation. If I get to a point where, you know, I can't put it in the coffee maker here and I have to do it on a percolator. If you ever done your little camping percolator on your stove, it's going to be a half an hour till you get your cup of coffee. It's not going to be 2 minutes like it is out of your electric deal. Last thing I want to do when I'm walking around like a zombie in the morning is go, oh, I got to go grind some beans first to make my cup of coffee. And I will tell you this, in SHTF, you are not going to care one bit if you got organic green Arabica beans specifically from this area of Colombia. You're going to be like, it looks like mud. I'm good. So, Patty Bob, smartass. I stood from 11:59 until 1 minute after midnight with my left leg in the air. That way I started the year off on the right foot. Go get another drink, buddy. Don't quit your day job. Uh, Murphy's Law, U.S. Marine combat veteran, stacking silver and lead. Good man. Both of them you're going to need. Never too old to learn. Have you ever used a watering system called Oyas? No, I've never heard of it. So sorry, I can't help. Maybe somebody else has, but not me. Don't even, not a clue. I mean, is it like a drip tape or anything? I mean, I created my own out of PVC pipe. It worked okay, but my water pressure here wasn't good enough. Now it might be because I've completely changed how that thing works. But uh, yeah, I've still got some different things that I've got to do. That's part of the reason for putting the pond in. But uh, no, I've never heard of it. Okay. No, I'm actually doing halfway decent on time. North Shore said the halfway point. I'm only 10 minutes behind. Oh, but God knows I need something to water the old throat. Okay. No comments for me here. Lots of lowercase stuff. There we go. Jim Lawrence, where is your merchandise for this phrase? For what phrase? Okay. And I don't do merch. Okay. It's, and Jim, I don't recognize your name, so maybe you're relatively new here. But I don't do promotional products. I don't have an Amazon affiliate link. I don't do uh, any of that crap. Okay. No merchandise, no nothing. I want everybody to be able to prep. Okay. Selling a bunch of crap is not my idea of prepping. Okay. Do I appreciate the contributions? Yes, it helps keep me going. Am I going to beg you for them? Am I here for the money? No. Okay. I'm here to do what I can to help people get more prepared. That's the whole point. So, I think if you're around here long enough, you will learn real quick that I'm giving plenty to others, whether it's food pantries or toys or people here or the prizes I give away when we do things and stuff like that. I want to see everybody succeed. Okay. This isn't about, me selling t-shirts. Okay. That's not the point. Okay. So we scrolled to the bottom again, I think. Yep. Let's figure out where it was again. Okay. Yep, I'm close to where it was. Just about finding it. Okay. Tealwood Classics. Do I think the market will crash this year? And again, that was something I talked about in this morning's video. It was one of my predictions. I mentioned that the analysis for fair market value of the stock market is it's 55% over what it should be. So if you have a 55% drop in the market to get the market back to fair market value, okay, basically the combined price of a stock versus the GDP of the country, okay, which it should be about 120% because that plays into the fact of anticipated earnings. The Dow should be about 16,400. And I've said to you guys probably for the better part of the last 8 months that the Dow should go back under 20,000. It's going to happen. Okay. It hasn't yet. And like I said to many people, I'm not trying to give people financial advice. You have to make that decision yourself. This is just what I think. I took my money out. I used it to pay off my house. I figured that was a guaranteed investment. I wasn't going to risk losing what I had. Okay. Now I don't worry about losing my house. Don't want to hear the property tax line. I get sick and tired of hearing that bullshit. But, if you're comfortable writing it out, go for it. There was 20% upside in the market, last year. Hey, cool. But, y'all remember what happened to the market when COVID started in the first place, and you wake up in the morning and turn on And the Dow opened up down 1,400 points. And the next day, and we're down 1,900 points. And we're down 1,500 points. And boom, we went from up near 30,000 down to 18,000 points on the Dow in about a week. Okay. We're going to see that again. So just don't get caught with your pants down. Paladin 1. I ate canned beef stew last night from 2016. It was good. Yeah. As long as the seal's good, the can's not dented. And just so you guys know, the reason for the dented, why everybody says don't buy dented cans, it changes the pressure inside the can, which is what can cause the inside to go bad, okay? Because those cans are pressurized very specifically. Just like when you're doing your pressure canning, you know, it's like you want to pressurize something for 75 minutes or 90 minutes. Same thing with those cans. You dent the can, you change the pressure, and now you can get spoilage. But yeah, you know, again, taste it, smell it, look at it. If everything's okay, eat it. No big deal. Purposeful Prepper, thank you for the super chat. It's greatly appreciated. Rooster, I moved from the Republic of California before it became democratic. Good. Purring Lady, the UP is way different than the rest of Michigan. Trust me, that I know, and the rest of Michigan is different than Detroit Metro. Okay, I totally know that. Where I was in Michigan was probably the reason I have a very bad taste in my mouth for Michigan, because the people I met there, I have no, they were very obnoxious. Let's just put it that way. What's my favorite EDC bang bang? Well, the one I carry, my everyday carry, is a 380 Smith & Wesson. And I know some people say, why do you carry a 380 or anything like that? Okay, all a 380 is a 9mm short. But I like it that it just fits in a pair of jeans pockets very, very easily. I don't need it. You know, I can concealed carry, no problem. You know, if I'm going to open carry, then it's going to be my CZSP019. That's it. But for my concealed, it's my 380. I found Waldo. I like your code name Sparky for JB. Actually, that wasn't for JB. That was just for any liberal idiot that I used this morning. Sparky was always a good insult in the Army. You know, if somebody was doing something stupid, you called them Sparky. Carla Palmer, I think my scariest prediction was a Harris Clinton ticket. Not even a Harris Clinton ticket. Harris Clinton just forced upon us. And I'll explain a little bit about that here real quick, okay? Mind you, Kamala Harris was handpicked by Hillary Clinton to run, okay, first off. And then, of course, you know damn well that Obama and Hillary are completely in cahoots to run Potato Joe. You know, so Obama's running Joe and Hillary's running Kamala. If they toss Joe out on his ass, because they've got to do it for optics, all right, that brings Kamala in. We go into the whole thing today. But if anybody thinks for a second that Hillary's going to play second fiddle to Kamala, that she's then going to be the mouthpiece and Hillary's going to be pulling all the strings still with Obama. It would all be for optics. That would be it. But the whole point is to get Hillary back in play so they can run her in 2024. That's the whole thing. My guess, if I had a guess right now, I'd say the 2024 election is Hillary Trump again. You know, because she wants that one bad. She wants a do-over, and the Democrats have no reason not to give it to her, because it's not like they've got any good candidates to put up. Murphy's Law, keep stacking silver. Absolutely. You know, like I said this morning, I think silver probably 28 to 30. I've heard some places optimistically are saying silver could go to 50 and gold would go to 3,000 this year. I really don't see that. Okay. But firmly believe in what I said this morning, is that I think gold and silver will be your best performing asset classes this year, because as inflation keeps going up, that is going to make it very difficult on the market. And flight to quality, if there's no return in bonds, which there basically isn't, okay, you're certainly not keeping up with inflation. So you need to put it into something that's an inflation hedge, and that is gold and silver. And I know a bunch of people will say crypto, and like I said this morning, I still think crypto is a fool's errand, because I mean, we saw crypto at 60 something thousand a couple of times last year, and we saw it down at 30,000 a couple of times. I think now it's in the 40s. Okay, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, whatever it is, if you want to do something like that, you're just as good off getting red chips and green chips and go sit at a blackjack table somewhere, because that's basically about the same. Mark Webb, a halfbacker is a Yankee that moves to Florida and then halfway back to Tennessee. Okay, there you go. No, I've never heard that. I like it though, it's cute. Midwest Mom, try the game Kids Against Maturity. Hilarious and good for the whole family. Yeah, considering I was the second youngest person at the table yesterday, yeah, I'd be the kid. Mrs. P was the youngest. Let's see. Bob Bissell, are we going to fry this summer? Temps 120. I don't know. I remember that a couple of years ago in Vegas, 117, and it was freaking miserable. It was a dry heat. I couldn't imagine 120 with humidity. But yeah, I don't know. Even though my prediction record from last year would make me a good weatherman, no, I can't tell you what summer is going to bring. Again, and I don't think nobody really can, because this whole grand solar minimum thing is new. I mean, mind you guys, this comes around every 400 years. There aren't any records from what happened in the 1600s in the U.S. Maybe you go look at what happened in Europe or something like that, but it's comparing apples and oranges. Miss Kitty Cat, formerly Linda S., said Sutton's Days. Lisa started Canuary today. Excellent beginner video canner. Excellent beginning video canning videos every day this month. Yes. Hopefully Angry Prepper went and watched. Tennessee Lady, could you tell us who you buy your gold and silver from? Also, do you buy gold, silver, or both? What is better, coins or bullion? I did a video about 7 months ago, and it's entitled "How to Buy Silver." If you put in your YouTube search bar "Pinball Preparedness: silver," it'll pull up that video. I walk you right through how to buy it, where to buy it, what to look for, what ratios to own gold to silver, in my opinion. Okay, some people say 70 to 1, 80 to 1. I personally like about 100 to 1. But I did a whole video on that. But if you go Pinball Preparedness, silver in your YouTube search bar, you'll find the video right there. Bama J says whole green coffee beans last longer than any. Oh yeah, sure. No, I don't disagree with you whatsoever. Like I said, I don't need to have a coffee grinder or power, because do you have a hand crank coffee grinder? If you don't have electricity, your coffee grinder is useless. Jack Bauer, Happy New Year. What would you recommend stocking prepping for in 2022? Any items you put higher on the list in 2022? Again, I'll go back to my video this morning. Your power and water, I think, are going to be the two most critical things that you take care of. And power means your solar generators, your gas generators, however you're planning on generating power. You want to put a windmill in your backyard, or a water wheel if you've got a stream or whatever it is. Those are things to look at. Water, and again, I'm not talking about going out and buying, 2 more cases of, bottled water, where I'm talking about a real water solution that you can have, one of those huge totes that'll hold, 400 gallons of water or whatever. Because I've said many times, there's going to be, you use a lot more than 1 gallon of water per person per day. Okay. Go look at your toilet and how much it takes to flush it once. Okay. How much water it uses is what, 1.6 gallons. Okay. Sure. You're going to need to have stored water to flush your toilet, to brush your teeth, to wash your clothes, to wash your dishes, whatever would be. And everybody says, oh, I'm going to collect rainwater. Right. Until you wind up realizing that it hasn't rained in 3 weeks. Okay. And you don't have any water. You're going to need to figure out how to come up with some sort of water source. Hence the reason Mrs. P and I are doing the pond this year. I've got, which is funny because I've got a lake that's a 2-minute walk away from me, but that's downhill. I'd have to carry water uphill. If I've got a lake at the top of the property, then I can use it to water gardens. I can run a hose right down to the house. There's a whole lot of things that I've thought about in regards to this. But those are the things. I mean, I'm not going to tell you food, okay, because that's a no-brainer, okay? But the things that I would be really concentrating on are your power and your water, because those are the two things that I think are most at risk this year. And again, that goes back to a potential hack of one or both. Scrolling. Linda Friesen says, Oyas are clay pots traditionally used in desert type areas. Okay. That probably explains why, because I don't live in a desert type area. As a watering system, I'm not going to be sure how you're talking about how they work. So I'm not going to be the right person to answer that question. Huts John, what was our traditional New Year's Day dinner? We really did. The only thing we did traditional yesterday is we did the Russian tradition, and Mrs. P and I had a shot of vodka. Okay, so that was the extent of traditions. But I mean, other than that, yesterday, because we went up to friends, it was pigs in a blanket. It was taquitos and stuff like that. So, I mean, we didn't make any dinner here. We went there. But I really don't have a traditional New Year's dinner. You can talk about corned beef and cabbage people have or whatever it is. New Year's is, it's never been a woohoo holiday for me for anything meals wise, family or anything like that. But we did the Russian tradition and we had the shot of vodka. So, and we kissed at midnight. Oops, where are we? Annie, Happy New Year. Does a water distiller render foul water drinkable? Yes. If you distill it, yes, you will wind up cleaning it out of all the impurities and everything like that. So yeah, if you take water out of the lake and run it through a still, yes, what you come out with at the end will be distilled clean water. Let's see, where are we? I found Waldo, Berkey water filter system versus a wood-fired water distiller. I can't really say because I've never used a wood-fired water distiller, but I will say the Berkey works wonderfully. But then again, I'm not trying to purify swamp water right now anyway. Depending on, honestly, I'd say, I guess it would depend on the source of the water. If you've got some nasty looking water, I'd rather distill it. If you're getting it from, a lake or something like that, where it's just going to have some impurities in it like that, I think the Berkey's fine. But I mean, if you've got nasty looking water or potentially poisoned water, and think about an SHTF, you get something to the point where there's chemicals in it or whatever it would be. Distilling it. I think in the long run, distilling is going to be safer. My opinion. Lorna says a Sawyer filter, mini Sawyer. Yeah, I mean those. but that's more for travel. You're not going to use those if you're staying at home. Once you're in your bug out location, the Sawyer Mini's not going to be doing. Deborah Flowers, what's my favorite pinball game? God, it's been 20 some odd years since I played pinball, but my favorite one always was Demolition Man. Jay Stratton, what are my best recommendations for extreme desert settings? I can't give you one because I've never lived in an extreme desert setting. I mean, yeah, I lived in Vegas for 2 years, and you could call that it, but I didn't have to go. I was living in the suburbs of Vegas. I mean, we had air conditioning. If the power went out, I had a pool in the backyard to stay cool. That one I'm not going to be the best resource for. Absolutely, oh crap! It's 10 o'clock. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I don't know if North is coming on yet tonight, but everybody has a good, happy Saturday night. I still have power temporarily, so keep me in your prayers tonight. Make sure I don't get hit by a tornado in the morning. Have a good one, y'all. Thanks for everybody coming by. Happy New Year. Pinball out.